First question is from a handle name on YouTube by the name of 8x Scope. I'd request you to all post your names if your handle does not contain it. The first viewer, Kunal, is looking for a view on BHEL. What would that be? Would you recommend getting into this counter in the short term?
So, reaction post results for BHEL, it's somehow gotten back into that same old, trend for itself, that it used to go through a period of rally consolidation, but these consolidations never resulted into a strong uptrend for itself. In fact, we've seen many periods where stocks like BHEL have gone through at least 1 week or 2 weeks of rally, and then at least a 1 to 2 months of correction. So what this today's price action suggests yet again, or indicates yet again, is that the stock may be ready for one more round of such short term or medium term correction. I would suggest just have a wait and watch approach. I think this level of 60 could probably be tested yet again for BHEL. I think that could be a good level if you're looking to enter. But again, it's more to do with a time-wise correction. So if you're expecting more fireworks into the stock price, it may not happen in the very near term. But if you're in from a slightly medium-term view, and if you're looking to buy at a good price close to the support levels, then I believe closer to 60 odd levels is where you can look to enter the stock.
All right. What about you, Vijay? I just wanted to take from you as well on BHEL. The government did announce that whole defense list of manufacturing certain items purely indigenously. Do you think BHEL could benefit from that in any manner? How do you see the stock shape up?
I think that it's a completely undervalued stock, and it's trading around its book value right now. It has a tremendous intrinsic value, and yes, I agree with Kunal when he says that buy around 60. Actually, we have bought it today for our clients, and we have recommended today when it fell down. So I think that it's a good value buy with a long-term perspective. It's not one of those stocks which will give you fireworks and you'll earn very quickly, but I think that this company can get to 100 odd rupees, and it's a value buy at 60 around. So definitely I would recommend a buy on this stock when it falls. So no problem with the stock, the company and the business model. So it's a Government of India company. It has a huge order book, and once lockdown opens, the normalcy is attained. I think that this stock would be roaring again, and it will cross 100, and it's a heavyweight, so it takes time for moving. So I completely agree. And one more technical point I want to mention here, that in the charts, if I see, there's a huge gap which it has left today, because it was a gap down opening. So definitely, technically speaking, it is going to fill up the gap sooner or later. So not a very dangerous buy at around these times. So around 60, 65, if you get, it's a good buy.
Vijay, coming back to you on this next one, and this is quite an interesting question, right? This is Sagar is asking on behalf of his father. His father bought Wipro, and this is 25 years back. He bought 500 shares at levels of 20, and or rather over the course of this 25 years, along with all the corporate actions, the bonus issues, etc., he's holding about 1 lakh shares. He's asking for a fundamental view. Should he hold on to this massive holding of Wipro, or should he ease it out a little bit and perhaps reduce some of the weightage that he has on Wipro?
He has held on to a stock like Wipro for so long. I think he is wiser than me, and he has made much more money than I have ever made in the market. So, I think that I would like to congratulate the gentleman for this stupendous job of holding. Patience is also something which pays off in the markets. So again, it's a fantastic company, and I would recommend that from Wipro he can probably look at the top rung IT companies like HCL Tech or Infi. There's a buyback at 1700 which is going to be announced. So he can just split it into 2 companies. So 1 lakh shares, he can probably book profits in 50,000 and get into another stock like TCS or Infi, which is going to be a great portfolio rebalancing, I would say. So, but again, there's no problem with Wipro also. This company would keep on growing, the revenues would keep on growing, and so would the stock price. But yes, if he can, as they say, that never keep all the eggs in the same basket. So he can just diversify the risk and get into a TCS or an Infi or an HCL Tech.
Okay. Well, let's take on board our next question. It's coming in from Mr. RSK Verma. RSK, Vikram, sorry. So he asks us that he has purchased 1500 shares of ITC at 220 rupees per share. Now he's asking, should he average at the current levels? He wants the outlook over the medium to the long term. Kunal, let me go across to you for this question. ITC has really tested the patience of long-term investors. But yeah, is this a good level for, Vikram to perhaps average out his holding of ITC?
So yeah, Mubina, I think around this 200 level seems to be a good enough pivot range or pivot support for ITC. The last 2 or 3 months, there were multiple attempts. I think there were some 6 or 7 attempts for for the stock to break below that 200 level, but every time it came just about closer to 200 or just about a shade below the 200 mark, you saw the stock bouncing off quite sharply. In fact, the very recent one as well was just around the start of the month of May as well, when the stock made a low of 199, touched back its 200 moving average, and from there, in a matter of a week or two, the stock bounced back towards that 220 level. So all of those bounces, the multiple tests towards that 200 mark, indicates that it's a very strong support zone for the stock. So purely on the back of levels, yes, I believe 200 could be a good level. But then the bigger question is that when would the stock finally break out of this high patience testing zone of this 200 to 240? So that's a bigger question. But if you're looking to look out for levels, then I think closer to 200 levels would be a very good level for you to look at a contra buy or look at averaging your holdings on ITC.
All right, I believe that answers Saurav Jana's question also on ITC at current levels. I'm coming back to you, Kunal, on this next one. We've got Neeraj Kumar, who's got HCL Tech at 980, looking for short-term target, 700 shares. Would you recommend a hold or a sell at this juncture?
On many of these IT names, specifically, I think if it's HCL Tech, then I would recommend a hold. These stocks are going through a trending process. HCL Tech is apparently a very low beta stock, so it goes into very subtle periods of trend. I remember, I think the last breakout the stock had seen on very short-term charts was, I think a week or two back, around that 935, 940 levels, and it took almost 7-8 days or 9 days for the stock to rally up 40 rupees from those breakout levels. So you can imagine the kind of low beta nature the stock has. So those breakouts, they tend to be successful. They result into a trending nature for the stock, but then you have to be a bit more patient for the stock to give you that kind of reward. So I think HCL Tech, I would suggest as something which you can hold on. I would probably expect that over the next 3 to 4 weeks, you can look at 1020, 1040 as the potential short-term target range.
Okay. Well, thanks, Kunal, for that. Our next question is actually on a topic that we were discussing earlier on, pharma or its ancillary ones. We have Sumit Kumar Dash, who's writing into us saying that Laurus Labs, what is your view on whether you should buy, hold or sell, keeping in view the next 1 to 2 years? So Vijay, let me go across to you on this question. What's your view on Laurus Labs? I think he's already purchased it actually at a price point of 355 rupees. So should he buy more? Should he hold on to what he has, or should he now consider selling? Vijay.
If he's a short to medium term investor, I think that he should book out, because the stock has literally doubled in the last almost 6-7 months. And whenever we see such kind of a scorching, stocks going at such a scorching pace, I think it's better to book out and wait for lower levels. Although it's a great company, no problem with the company as such, but again, profit booking is also something which I recommend. And again, if you want to buy into pharma, I think if the market corrects, you can buy into the strong companies like Glenmark, which is going to come up with an IPO as well, and they have reduced debt and the cost of debt as well. So Glenmark is one company which I like, and Dr. Reddy's. So these are two companies which he can switch to. Laurus is considerably smaller than these two companies, but again, you can be with the big wigs and buy in a correction time. And again, I'm telling you, buy in a correction, because markets can correct and would correct for sure. So keep on booking profits, and if at all not entirely, but at least book half the profits and wait for the markets to fall, and then you can get into a good pharma story.
Okay, speaking of correcting, Vijay, I'm coming back to you on this next one. We've got Janil, and Janil's contention is that we don't take his question ever. Janil, I saw your question right now, I've taken it. Vijay, the question is on the Adani group companies and specifically about Adani Ports and Adani Enterprises. Of course, there is seemingly a reason why they have moved so sharply lower today, but he's asking, should he use this opportunity to buy into them? They've certainly outperformed, and how, over the last 1 year?
Well, definitely it has outperformed, and we have seen the stocks going up almost 1,000%, some of them 800%, 700%. So these are, irrational, increase in any company. And I would say that, Adani companies are trading at a very, very high price to earning. So it has to match. Market is a great leveler, and we see markets, market punishes overvalued stocks as well. So no point of getting into Adani stocks as of now, and just wait and watch, because the storm has just started. We might see lower levels in these companies. I am not commenting anything on the quality of the company. The quality of the company might be really good. Adani Ports is doing a great job. Enterprise is doing a great job, and so is Adani Power and Transmission. But again, the valuation piece I'm not very comfortable with, and I won't be unless we see rationalization in prices. So people who are able to find out the value stories, the deep value stories in the market are always the ones who make money. So no point of getting into frenzy or something which is flashed on news in newspapers and on TV 10 times a day doesn't mean that you just jump and buy into the stock. So just hang on and wait for opportunities. These stocks, when they correct, they would be again good buys. But even now, you get into good metal stories, good chemical companies, good pharma companies, good power companies. I think stocks like Power Grid, stocks like PFC, these are great companies to get into with a longer term perspective. So no problem at all. A stock like ONGC, I would say, Oil India, these are great value buys at these levels. So keep on buying value companies and keep on exiting also as you get your profits. So no point of getting into an overvalued company and getting beaten down.
All right. Okay, well, that's the rationale from Vijay Chopra. Let's take on board our next question. It's coming in from Tarun Gambhir on our live YouTube channel. Tarun says that he has purchased Ashoka Buildcon 500 shares of this stock at 96 rupees, and he wants to know the short-term view. Kunal, unfortunately, he's bought it at a bit of a higher price. I mean, just last year the stock was trading at half the value that it currently is available at right now. But I think he's more of a short-term trader. He's looking at maybe a timeline of under 3 to 4 months. What is the prospects you see, Kunal, of Ashoka Buildcon actually gaining from year on? And because since 2021 it's actually just been consolidating between 90 and 100 and not really shown any significant move, unlike what it's done in the 6 months prior to this year.
So the stock had been an underperformer. I think the 2016-17 highs for the stock was approximately 180-200 rupees, and from there it corrected to as much as 40 rupees. So it was quite a downtrender as such over the last 3-4 years. But it's now into a repair mode. I think from those levels of sub 40, the stock is gradually moving up to a new territory for itself. There are some very bullish price patterns which have been indicated on Ashoka Buildcon on the near-term charts. In fact, the volumes in the last 10-12 months for the stock has been almost 3x or 2.5x of the volumes over the last 5-6 years for the stock. So that itself tells you that this repair process, what you've seen for Ashoka Buildcon, is been met by a very strong level of participation. Look at the short-term charts. And I think over the last 1 month as well, there have been very encouraging volumes for Ashoka Buildcon. The stock has moved up from levels of 90 to now levels of 9900 where it's currently trading. So it seems to be a stock which now could probably get into the thick of momentum very soon. If you're in from a short-term kind of a time frame, say over the next 3 to 6 months, then I would believe that closer to 120, 140 range is where you can expect that the stock can hit back to those kind of territories. This is purely based on strong levels of volumes which you've seen and the way the stock has now emerged as a possible momentum candidate. So I would suggest a hold on Ashoka Buildcon, and for the next 3 to 6 months, 120 to 140 could be a target range.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to request you to keep your answers just a bit shorter now. We're going to try and fit in as many questions as possible over the next couple of minutes or so. I'm coming to you first, Kunal, on this one. Shashikala is asking about Bajaj Electricals and whether there's a possibility of it going up. I'm pretty sure that there is, but then I'm guessing it's a short-term query. The stock, as I see it, has been consolidating since March after quite a big up move. Do you think that there's a possibility of entering at this juncture?
So Alex, yes, you've indicated right that the stock has been consolidating last 2 or 3 months. It's been in a sideways range, but the longer term trend have been absolutely fabulous for Bajaj Electric. So if you are in from a short term as well as from a longer term view, these are good levels where you can look to buy or average. I would suggest a hold on Bajaj Electric.
Okay. Coming back, taking the next question then, we've got a question from Babatosh, and this is on Snowman Logistics. Coming to you on this one, Vijay. On the fundamentals, would you buy?
Well, I think there are better options available in the market as far as the logistics goes. I like Mahindra Logistics. I like companies like All Cargo, which are doing better. And there are great opportunities elsewhere. I think that, Blue Dart, would do very well. If somebody wants to buy, it's a large, big stock with a big price, but I think that Blue Dart is also good. But apple to apple comparison, my pick would be Mahindra Logistics and All Cargo.
Okay, coming back to you, Vijay, on a couple of stocks, and I'll name them. You only have to pick one because Swayam is looking to accumulate one of these for the long term. NTPC, IOC and ONGC.
ONGC is one stock I mentioned earlier as well, and I think that this stock can go up to 190, 200. It has consolidated very nicely, and I think oil and gas should do well with the medium term perspective. So ONGC would be my pick for a target of 190 to 200.
Right. Well, let's very quickly move on to our next, query. And all right. I think once again, it's Kunal. I'll go to you on this one. Anjali Sharma asks, please advise on Bajaj Hindustan in the sugar space. She has 2,000 shares at around 15 rupees per share. It's now on the up move. What would be the target price for say another 1 month? Or do you think it's a portfolio stock? One of those long-term stocks. Kunal, yes, sugar space has been on fire, Bajaj Hindustan included. So nice up move being witnessed over there. Kunal, your view?
Recent charts are indicated that the stock is now trying to play a catch up. It's a stock, frankly, Movina, which I think is also more of circuit oriented stock. So it tends to move into a period or a range of upper circuits as well as lower circuits as in how the trend develops for the stock. So I think the last 1 month itself as well, we've seen the stock hitting those upper circuit levels just like what it is today. So it's a stock which is into into the thick of momentum till the time the sugar rally continues and gets more stronger. Then I believe likes of Bajaj Hindustan as well could probably move up higher. But the question is that if you're looking at it as a more of a portfolio buy, then I would advise to shift towards large cap quality names or the quality names from the sugar pack. You have likes of Balrampur Chini, Praj Industries and ancillary of sugar as well. Dhampur Sugar is the other stock which you can look at. So I would suggest a shift from those these kind of names towards quality, specifically if it's from portfolio view. But if it's specific towards momentum, then you can expect maybe another 4 to 5 rupees to be added to the stock. Say around 20 levels is where you can keep a near-term target.
Vijay, I'm going to try and club a few questions, so forgive me if it's a little disparate, okay? The first question is, would you buy into UPL at this juncture? The second one is, would you buy into Motherson Sumi? And the third question is, which sector are you most bullish on for the next couple of years?
Well, Motherson Sumi has already corrected, so I would buy a Motherson Sumi, and UPL, as you've already seen a major upside. I would wait for a correction to get into UPL, although it's a great company. I like the agrochemical space, and stocks like Dhanuka Agritech and other companies which were in the agrochemical space have done very, very well. Now, if you ask me about the next couple of years, I think that real estate and allied sectors I would be bullish on with the next 1.5 to 2 years perspective. So stocks like Prestige, Sobha, Brigade Enterprises like Oberoi Realty, DLF should do well. DLF corrected post the post the result, but I think they have posted a good result. The profits are great, but the revenues haven't happened because of the lockdown, and we've not seen much action happening. But I think there's a huge pent-up demand in the real estate space, and it is going to play out in the next couple of years, and real estate would be my pick, and allied sectors, stocks like Somani Ceramics and Kajaria, what we are seeing today, and there are various other allied industries which support the real estate space. So that would be my sector. Godrej Properties is another stock which I think can inch up to 2,000 rupees. It's a great company with great fundamentals, and we are all going to witness a decent upside in the real estate space. So that would be my sector pick.
Okay. Well, with that, we are out of time. Kunal and Vijay, thank you so much for joining us and patiently answering the plentiful of viewer queries that we've received. We'll take a very short break on the show, but be right back.
Co-powered by LG Air Conditioners, all in one in all.
Sona BLW Precision Forgings Limited, one of India's leading automotive technology companies, is primarily engaged in designing, manufacturing and supplying highly engineered mission-critical automotive systems and components to automotive OEMs. Initial public offer of equity shares of face value of rupees 10 each through the book building process in a price band of rupees 285 to rupees 291 per equity share. Bid offer opens on Monday, June 14, 2021 and closes on Wednesday, June 16, 2021. For risk factors and more details, please refer to the red herring prospectus available on the websites of SEBI, the book running lead managers and the stock exchanges.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई आग से बचाए।
A leading integrated metal producer, Shan Metallics. Real steel, real strength.
कोरोना की रिपोर्ट का इंतजार हो या फिर कोरोना ही क्यों ना हो गया हो, हर घर लड़ेगा, साथ साथ देगा कोरोना को मात। कैसे? संयम और सावधानी से सुनो।
खुद को एक कमरे में अलग कर ले, कम से कम 10 दिनों के लिए। सावधान, खुद से